Hey everyone, this is Cal from Dirty Weasel. In this installment of the Skyrim Special Edition modding guide, I've got some more fixes for you. Things that you may not have realized you wanted, but once you have them, they may just become must-haves for your modded game. Sight, sounds, interfaces. This has a little bit of everything. Alright, here we are at the desktop. Let's talk about the Creation Club for a second. You know, when they first started, they put a little box at the upper left. Yeah, that one. For most people, it's not really that annoying, but if you're not interested in the Creation Club, why should you have it? Let's get a mod that can get rid of it so it looks like that. Well, I've got something for you. Let's go to the internet and take a look. Over on the Nexus, you have No More Creation Club News, mod number 12679, and it's done by Nico2100. Very simple mod. It just gets rid of it. You can see the sequence of pictures, just like I showed you. It takes it, gets rid of it, and you guys have a nice clean startup menu. There's not much to say about this one. It doesn't even have an ESP. So if you go to the files, download the main one with your mod manager, and install it using Mod Organizer, whatever your modding tool of choice is. In my case, it is Mod Organizer 2. And you can see it's right there. No More Creation Club News. Double click on it, and you're going to get manual. And you can see inside when you right click Set Data Directory, it's just an interface file that has a start menu.swf. That looks good. Because it doesn't have any ESPs or anything, the only thing I would suggest is put it relatively high up. I don't think it's going to make any difference to you. Just get it up out of the way, somewhere around Papyrus Util and before any of the main scripts, and just leave it there. It's perfectly fine. Like I said, no plugins, nothing to order. Let's talk about the next mods that we have. Let me set the scene for you. You are the expert in sneak, the master of shadows. A silent assassin stalking your prey. You find your target. You draw back your bow and you get that weird sound that says you had a sneak hit. Well, wouldn't you really rather have this? Yeah, so would I. So, you know, what the basics is that little bonging sound, that percussive note, is really kind of obtrusive in your game. So, we want to get rid of that. So let's go back to the internet and take a look. I've got two mods that do essentially the same thing, but one has an extra option to just kind of mute it a little bit. The first one is Silent Sneak Attack. It is mod number 3387. It's done by iFurbs, and basically it is a mod that gets rid of that attack noise. Basically, it just eliminates it. If you look at the file structure and you preview the contents, it's just an ESP. That's all it is. Okay. Very simple one. This one will get rid of it completely. Silent Sneak Attack will get rid of it completely. But I did find another mod that has some options. And that is Muted Sneak Attack Sound, mod number 12510. And this is done by Vactrol. It actually has two different options. You can either get rid of it completely, or you can actually mute it to about 70% of what it was before. So no sneak attack sound. You look at the file structure on this, same as the other one. It's just an ESP. And the sneak attack sound quieter, it lowers the decibel level by negative 17 decibels. And you can see on this, it is also an ESP. So it doesn't really matter which one you choose, either the muted sneak attack sound or the silent sneak attack. It doesn't really make a difference. They're going to work the same way. It's just up to you whether you want a complete removed or a muted one in the case of the second mod that's on the lower level sneak attack sound. So it's up to you. All of them are going to install exactly the same into Mod Organizer. You can see I have the silent or the sneak attack silent sound quieter, and you can see that it was just an ESP. You have the no sneak attack sound. This is from the same mod, and you can see we have also an ESP. Silent Sneak Attack, mod number 387 there, you can see it. It is also just an ESP. I'm going to go with this one just because it's the first one I saw. It makes no difference to me. I'm going to say that looks good, but they all install exactly the same. And you're going to activate it and move that sucker up. There shouldn't be any problems with this over as far as audio goes. If I activate Audio Overhaul Skyrim and Immersive Sounds Compendium, Those two are interacting, but because it doesn't have any sound files, this one is not showing anything. But on plugins, you'll see that even though these are installed after it, let's see what Loot does with it. And we'll just check it and apply. So what it did was it moved it under Audio Overhaul for Skyrim, but before Immersive Sounds Compendium. This is kind of important because there is something to keep in mind. If you were to check these in SSE Edit, I'm just going to select None and select those specific mods. Audio Overhaul for Skyrim, Silent Sneak Attack, Immersive Sounds Compendium, and the Audio Overhaul Skyrim Immersive Sound Compendium patch. Let's just check them out. All right, background loader's finished. Let's just go ahead and check on Audio Overhaul for Skyrim. Loot says that Immersive Sounds Compendium can come after Silent Sneak Attack, and all of the mods ended up in the same order. It doesn't matter which one you do. Loot's going to order it this way. If we check on Silent Sneak Attack ESP, you're going to get a file header, and you're going to get a sound descriptor file. Okay, click on that one, and you can see that you have Skyrim.esn being overwritten by Audio Overhaul for Skyrim, which is then overwritten by Silent Sneak Attack. So you know there is a attenuation value that is being changed by Skyrim to Audio Overhaul for Skyrim, changes it, and then Silent Sneak Attack takes over. Just so you know what you're getting in these things. But like I said, for the most part, Loot was able to correctly order these in the proper order for each of the mods I showed you. The muted one and the silent one from muted sneak attack sound, and the silent sneak attack from silent sneak attack. So both mods were correctly ordered by Loot. Just let Loot do what it's want, but just keep that in mind that if for whatever reason it starts having a hiccup because you start getting a bunch of sound mods, that you need to check SSE Edit and make sure that the order isn't being changed. That will mess this up so you don't have a silent sneak attack anymore. Just keep that in mind that definitely for Audio Overhaul for Skyrim, it needs to load after that. All the mods need to do that, but they can be loaded before Immersive Sounds Compendium or the patch thereof. Let's move on to the next mod. The next two mods that we're going to talk about are primarily for keyboard and mouse players. You know, I primarily use a controller. I'm a Neanderthal that way when I play Skyrim. But I do understand the utilization of a keyboard and mouse when it regards to Skyrim. The next two mods will kind of help you out a little bit with that. The first one is going to be Better Dialogue Controls, mod number 1429, done by Esserbath. And basically, this is going to help with selecting the correct dialogue when you're going through and talking to people. And basically, if you've ever picked the wrong item in the dialogue with an NPC, this mod aims to fix some annoyances the way the keyboard and mouse selection works in the dialogue interface. And you can read what it does, but you know it does work. I'll just say that. I don't use it a lot. I don't really notice the differences that much because I don't really play with keyboard and mouse when I use Skyrim, but it does work. A very simple one, go ahead and get the file. When you preview it, it's just going to be an SWF file, so there's no ESP. Just download that with Manager. The second one, Better Message Box Controls, mod number 1428, also done by Esserbath, is basically going to improve the way the message boxes work in-game. Not the dialogue, the message boxes for different things. It's going to expand it to make the activatable area a little bit bigger. And it's also going to allow you to navigate left to right. And it will also allow you to select yes and no by pressing Y or N. So for you keyboard and mouse guys, this is going to be really useful for you. It actually has a lot more utilization on a day-to-day basis than actually the Better Dialogue Control. And the same thing goes with this. If you look at the file structure, it is basically just an SWF file, so no ESP. Download those with Manager. And in your mod manager of choice, you see Better Dialogue Controls and Better Message Box Controls. Both of these are going to be very simple to install. Double click, manual interface, looks good, press OK. And while we're here, we'll just do the second one for Better Message Box Controls. Manual interface, looks OK, press OK. Both of these are going to be UI mods, so you can go ahead and double click these together. I'm just going to control click and drag them all the way up. into your UI section. That's probably going to be around Sky UI, somewhere right around there. And because they are just SWF files, there's no plugins involved with this. Just keep an eye on conflicts, make sure nothing else is going to be conflicting with these. But basically, they can sit up here and not do much else for the rest of their lives, and you won't have to worry too much about them. That's it for now, guys. I hope those fixes help you out a little bit more. I'm working on something over here with control maps and push to sprints and hotkeys for controllers. So that will be the next episode. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you found this helpful. My name's Cal. I'm from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.